Do you love yourself?
No.
Um, I don't know yet.
No. I don't think I do. I don't think I will ever be able to love myself.
It took some time, but I can say at this stage in my life, I do love myself.
Why don't you love yourself?
As I said before, I just hate the way I do things. I hate the way I look. But I'm trying to improve it, so hopefully it will change soon. In a world full of Photoshop, cosmetic surgery, and unbelievably high social expectation, it is imperative to remember that there is more than meets the eye. Not everything seen on Instagram or in magazines is real. However, a social beauty standard is still inferred from what we see. Social beauty standards, particularly placed towards women, are unrealistic, and they discard the conception of everyone being beautiful in their own body and in their own way. This has led to insecurities and a lack of self-love. The media's portrayal of beauty has changed the way in which some females look at themselves every day. So I ask for young females to allow us an insight into what it takes to act and look like a lady in today's society. Do you believe that you are beautiful?
Yeah, I do. I think that's something that's come over time. I think if you had asked me that 10 years ago, I'd have had a lot of different feelings and a different perception of myself. But again, that comes from the people that you surround yourselves with and the confidence that others give you. And often when people let you know that.
I don't believe I'm conventionally beautiful, no.
No. I know that I can look in the mirror and say, yeah, that's me, but it's not at a stage I can look in the mirror and go, yeah, I appreciate who's looking back at me.
I think everyone's beautiful in their own way, but I just have doubts in myself.
I don't think I follow any of the conventions of normal beauty. I'm not thin, I don't have long blonde hair, I don't have long hair. I'm covered in tattoos, I've had piercings, I have scars, so I'm not conventionally beautiful.
It's only if I can see, again, with the academic certificates and achievements that I've put forward myself. Because I know I can't really control my physical self, I can control what I do, and so that is my definition of beauty.
I say when I look in the mirror some days. Some days it depends what you put on you or the way that you're feeling. But sometimes just wearing my hair down, I'd look a lot different. Putting on some makeup, putting on my eyelashes. But again, that's something you're adding to yourself to help you perceive others that you are beautiful. Again, going into the consumer brands and the whole marketing of beauty products and so on. But yeah, I'm from a family where I'm told I'm loved, and I know that I am loved, and I think that helps me realise and recognise that that's the beauty in somebody, when other people help you feel beautiful.
Define self-image.
Well, I think self-image is something difficult to define because everyone has different versions of self-image, but my personal version of self-image is how my likeliness and my behaviour is projected onto others and what they take from that.
Self-image is how you see yourself and how you feel when you are presenting yourself to other people, whether it be your friends or your family. It's how they see you and you see yourself in that moment in time.
Self-image, the way you feel about yourself, the way, not just in looks, but the way you portray yourself as a person, in the acts that you do, the way you treat others. That would be self-image to me.
When you look in the mirror, what do you see?
I see a confident, young, middle-aged woman. I like what I see.
I look in the mirror many times a day. Like I leave the house knowing I look fine, but then like deep inside me I'm like, I don't look fine.
It depends on the day. So, about like 2 days ago, I have got out of the shower, and I'm really weird. I'll like get out of the shower and then I'll just like stand and look in the mirror just to look at the body that I have now. And I have stretch marks on my stomach and a scar, and they were really prominent. And I saw them and I was like, how disgusting is my body?
Me, and I'm getting to be okay with it. I know in the past I had like a lot of self-image because I'm very skinny, and I know that, and my family is quite big.
So many other people out there that are like prettier than me and all that. So like I feel like when I look in the mirror, I'm like, okay, but then I know like inside I'm just not, let's say, pretty or anything. So yeah.
Why do you think that? Why do you think you're not pretty?
I'm just very self-conscious, especially like my body weight, and like I don't know, there's just like I'm figuring out like who I am and my style, and like right now I don't like where I'm at.
How did the stretch marks become so overwhelmingly prominent in my skin? Because I've always had them, but how did they become the way they are? And I was horrified when I looked back, but no amount of losing weight is going to get rid of the scars or the stretch marks. So there's nothing I can do.
Every time I go to a family reunion, they're like, oh, why don't you eat some more? Why don't you do this? And so I know that I've always, like, in the past tried to be bigger and couldn't do it. So yeah, I'm getting there.
I see someone that's grown, someone that is quite confident in herself sometimes. And I like to see someone smiling back at me when I look in the mirror.
Are you self-conscious?
Very.
Yeah.
I'm kind of insecure about everything on my body.
Yes. Mostly about my intellect, because I've kind of just ignored like physical standards because I can't keep up with them.
What are your insecurities?
I think everyone will have insecurities, no matter what age you are, or what gender you are.
So yes, I think.
For example, when I walk into college, I'm like, I know I'm fine, but like I feel like everyone is looking at me and judging me, and it's everywhere I go. So like, yeah.
I'm someone that's changed my physical appearance quite dramatically over the last few years. I lost like 5 stone.
My academics, which is something I found really important to myself. And so a good self-image for me is somebody who is smart and who you can see is trying to apply themselves, not someone who's, dressed in the pinkest dress.
So insecurities, even though I've lost that amount of weight, I still feel like I could maybe lose more. Even though I feel happy and healthy the way I am, sometimes you just think, oh, maybe it'd be nice if I could fit into that smaller dress or that smaller pair of jeans, because I never had the opportunity to do so before, and I'm closer to that size 12 dress size that I always aim to get into than I ever was before. But then I should concentrate more on how good I feel inside and how happy I am inside, rather than the way I look to others. So that would be my insecurity in that sense.
Where have your insecurities come from?
Bullies. I got, again, bullied a lot because I'm dyslexic, so I'm not the smartest person in the classroom. And so it was very easy to pick on, and I was quite scrawny when I was little, so I would get physically beaten up as well.
I see my scars all the time. I look down at my wrists and I see my scars and I see what I did to myself. Because everything I did to get those scars were completely self-inflicted.
Probably weight, for me. I always grew up, as soon as I hit my teens, weight became a problem for me.
I think I'm insecure about my hands because these hands have done so much, both to me, the person in control of them, and others, that they're like my worst enemy in the weirdest thing. Because impulses, when it came to self-harming, was grab a razor, slice the wrists. And that was an impulse. I had no control over them. And my hands were in control of that. So I think that's why I'm insecure about them.
So for me, it's weight, and it was always something that I suppose I never really did anything about. But when I decided to do something about it and started losing weight and feeling better, I thought, well, why didn't I look after myself better years ago? So insecurities would come with how I perceived myself. I wasn't feeling very well. I was tired coming up the stairs. I was really unfit. I couldn't find dresses to fit me. Couldn't find clothes to fit me. And then insecurities come with that.
Wanting to be stronger, and that was the time where physical beauty did matter to me, and I took up boxing and karate, cheerleading, gymnastics just to try and help, and it did help for a while, but it became apparent that it was my intelligence that was what was important to me, not my physical appearance.
Can you tell me a time in your life where your self-image really affected you?
I would say the start of college when I first joined. It was the first time I was able to wear my own type of clothes, style my hair how I wanted it. And I came from a school that wanted us to wear business wear. I couldn't have my hair different colours.
I became very mentally sick. It was a very draining time of my life, and I saw my body deteriorate. I lost a lot of weight. I became very fragile, and I became sick.
To be honest, it really just been now, like, because like I wake up every morning with like, this anxiety and like, oh, what should I wear? Like, does my outfits match and all this? So really, it's just now, and it's just probably gonna stay like that until I figure out who I want to be and my identity and stuff.
In my teens, when I was always the fat one, and my friends were all getting boyfriends and all the attention from boys, and I never really got any. Yeah. Which is sad, but I think that's got a lot to do with being a teenager. As you get older, things like that don't matter as much when people grow up and get more mature and confident in themselves. But yeah, that was probably the hardest time when I was young.
I did a lot of stuff to change how I looked then.
To come here and be able to wear like a massive Legends of Zelda shirt and have people say, yeah, that's really cool. It was a really confusing experience, because I remember wearing that t-shirt in like the last day of sixth form, and people being like, what are you wearing? It's not.
Has being self-conscious ever held you back from any opportunities?
I try and let it not hold me back. Like, for example, when I go to an event, I have like, my anxiety is so high that I just want to like run into a dark room and cry. But I try and push myself because I know that it's just in my head. And like, it's just basically, I think it's just another day. I can get through it. Like, once it's happened and it's gone. Like, I never need to relive that day. So yeah, I try not to let it hold me back.
Even things like going for jobs, like for job interviews, I'd always be worried that because I did look a lot different, I'd always be worried about what they'd think of me, whether my appearance made me look like I was a lazy person, which wasn't true at all.
Yes, I don't go out much because I firstly don't have a lot to wear. My wardrobe is just black and grey mostly, and so everywhere I go, people are just like, it's not a funeral, don't bring this here. And so I tend not to go out much because I don't want to seem too gloomy. Especially like most of my friends wear lots of big bright clothes, and it's just, I stick out in the bad way.
Anytime I went to a university interview, I wore long sleeve tops so that none of my tattoos showed. And I don't think that was an insecurity thing, but I don't know why I did it. Like, to the point that the university I'm going to in September has no idea I have tattoos.
Also, things like active things. An example would be here at the college with the enrichment activities and like the end of year trips. Things like going to Thorpe Park. not feeling very comfortable on some of the rides, not going on some of the rides because I was scared that, oh no, do you know what, I'm not going to go on that ride because it's not actually going to, the seatbelt isn't going to tie up on me, or the safety barriers aren't going to close. So it stopped me in that sense of enjoying things. Yeah.
Have you ever suffered from having a negative self-image?
Probably just the way I made myself feel, that kind of suffering. I was very lucky that I'm quite thick-skinned, and you know, if anyone was making the usual, you know, oh, you're fat comment or anything, I'd have an answer for them.
I don't like myself now. I've never liked myself since ever, I don't think. Like, I don't really know a point when like I was happy with how I looked or who I was. And like, it's not even just my like self-image, it's also my personality and like how I could come across, and people like, oh, why did I say that?
Yes, with the fact that I didn't want to go out with my friends because I knew that my dress sense was too different, and even like my race, my colour, I don't have many black friends. Most of my friends are either white or just any other race. So I again just kind of stuck out, and I didn't want to. I know in pictures, if I decide to take a picture, it's very obvious that I'm the odd one out, and I don't really like drawing massive amounts of attention to myself. And I know my friends don't really care, but it's like, I care, and it's a bit nerve-wracking.
More the hardship I gave myself for believing that looking a little bit different to anybody else made a difference to who I am, because that's not the case. The real beauty of somebody is, as I said, the way that you treat others and the way that you live your life, helping people and just being a good person.
Has the media's portrayal of the perfect woman affected your self-image?
I think it did a lot when I was younger, because when I was younger I wanted to be really, before my mum got sick, I wanted to be really thin, I wanted to have really long hair, I wanted to have straight hair, I wanted to be very small and petite.
Not really, it's just like on Instagram we see like teenagers our age and they just look amazing when they're like even younger than us, and I'm just like, how did you do that? Like when I was that age I was outside playing, not going to the gym, and yeah, that's just kind of affected like the way I think.
What is the perfect woman? That's the question that we should be asking, and who has any right to define what the media's portrayal of the perfect woman is?
No. That is mostly because of my mum. Again, my whole family are quite big, and so my like standard of beauty was big people and still is. And so when I look in the mirror, it's like, oh, I'm not big enough yet. And so I remember there was a time I was actually trying to get bigger. And like I've not recently, but I've stopped now because it's not who I am. This is my body type, and I'm happy with that now.
I was never able to achieve the beauty standard that was projected onto me, which caused a lot of disassociation with my body growing up.
Because then I feel like sometimes you need to kind of live up to that expectation, and like people just judge you if you're not like that, like if you're not at that level.
I suppose as a female, I can understand, you know, if you go to a wedding or you're going somewhere, that all these clothes that are out there, backless dresses or mini dresses, that's not going to suit everybody. And a lot of the high street brands and affordable clothing that young people would be buying is catered for the looks, the latest catwalk looks, or what Meghan Markle is wearing. Or so. Yeah, there is a stereotype there. You've got to have the right hair, you've got to have the right makeup, you've got to have the right highlighter, you've got to have the right eyelashes, you've got to have the right everything. But why?
Like in school, when they kept saying, you know, you don't have to be thin to be beautiful, it never resonated with me because it was the opposite with me. To me, I wasn't beautiful and everybody else was.
What do you think in society can be done to help improve people's individual confidence and their self-image?
I think people should be shown more realistic body standards. I genuinely think that should be a thing. People should be told that it's normal to have stretch marks and it's normal to have cellulite and it's normal to dislike parts of your body and it's all part of the process. Normal bodies should be completely normalised.
I think putting just more different types of people out there. I know there are companies who only employ plus size models and stuff like that, but if there was just a picture that your size didn't matter, you could just take a picture and that was fine. And as well, and having more unique kind of clothing that didn't like force you to like have like big boobs or something, or a tiny waist, that was just like clothing for the sake of clothing, for the sake of wearing something that was pretty, not let's see if I can fit into this dress. I think that would improve a lot of people's self-image.
I think celebrating the wide, diverse range of women and males that we have. You know, there's no set stereotype, this is the perfect image.
There has been an improvement in the fashion industry because they have a lot more plus size models now that are active within the fashion community, which is really nice to see. But I also think it should come to race as well. Race and ethnicity, we should be exposed to a range of races and colours and ethnicities and personalities, that everything is normalised and someone doesn't feel segregated because they're not thin enough.
I definitely think there could be more like plus size models, and there could be more like various different types of styles and models more shown. Like you always see the basic pretty model, flawless and glamorous with like, I don't know, a bikini on or something. Like where are the plus size ones? You know, that would definitely show people it's okay to look this way. You know, we can look beautiful too.
How have you improved your self-image?
By gaining more confidence, again, with my academic studies, because that is the most important thing to me over my physical appearance. Getting that to the highest I can is really important to me. And also, because of that, I have more confidence to wear clothes that I otherwise wouldn't wear because maybe they show a bit too much skin for what I used to wear, or they have another colour besides black.
I suppose I've been trying new styles, but like really I haven't done much because I don't really know how to improve it. That's the thing.
Believing in myself and looking at my life and thinking, I'm lucky. You know, I'm blessed to have the people I have in my life. I love my job, I love my students, I've got a great family behind me, and I'm a good person.
Well, I cut off all my hair and got tattoos and was kind of like, if I can't be the standard beauty, I'm not going to be any kind of beauty, fuck it. And then I realised that beauty isn't conventional and it can be manifested any way you want it to. So my tattoos have a lot of different meanings to me, and I think those meanings are the things that make me beautiful.
Because like on my weight, like I see these models or people and they're like skinny or skinnier and they just look amazing, but then there still isn't clothes that are at a reasonable price that I could experiment more with.
I think what's more important is believing our self-worth. And I think that's what will lead to the perfect image.
Why is keeping a positive self-image important?
Because it's not right to think negatively. Like, if you constantly think negatively, then you'll do things negatively and you won't really get anywhere.
If I had a positive self-image, I wouldn't have self-harmed. I think that's what it comes down to be honest. That having a positive self-image, it completely affects every aspect of your life. The way you project yourself onto others, the way others project themselves onto you, everything feels like dominoes. So it's important to have or at least seem like you have a positive self-image, because then life is just easier, I think. Instead of critiquing every inch of your body every 5 minutes.
It's important for the people around you. The main thing is how people feel and how people are made to feel. And if people are feeling any negativity about themselves, especially young people, well, it's regardless of age actually, if you're not feeling good about yourself, then if you're not feeling good about yourself, you're not being the best person you can be. You're not showing your talents. We're all different. We've all got different talents. We're all good at something. There might be things we need to improve on, but that's what makes the world.
Like, I know a friend who she kind of is stuck right now, and like, she's just in this negative bubble, and she's not branching out trying to help herself. And you need to, like, you just need to try and improve yourself and keep moving forward.
So what advice would you give to your teenage self, or to any of your students such as myself struggling with loving yourself, you know, like struggling to look at yourself in the mirror? What advice would you give yourself and us?
That you're beautiful. That the whole world's ahead of you. You can do this. You've got a good network of people around you. You're here for a reason. And as time goes on, you realise what that reason is. And that you're always somebody else's reason to smile as well.
Before making this documentary, I felt alone. I felt no one understood how hard it is for me to look in the mirror every day. I could never accept myself. I thought no one understood me, and that no one felt the pain that I feel every day. I constantly criticized everything about myself all the time, and I felt suffocated around happiness because I could never feel it. I made this documentary to see if I was the only one that felt this way, and I am not. Everyone is insecure, and no one sees you the same way that you see yourself. True beauty has no boundaries, and there is something about everyone that makes them beautiful. We just can't see it ourselves. Loving yourself is a process, and it does not come overnight. However, after listening to these women, I have realized that I am not alone in feeling this way, and neither are you. Everyone is beautiful. You just have to believe it to see it.